Do you guys remember like back in the day, a really big saying that people used to say was, there's an app for that. No, there's an app for that. Oh, you're thinking about that? There's an app for that. Oh, you don't have like a measuring tool? Bro, there's an app for that. You know, your wife's gonna leave you? There's an app for that. You know, there's just really crazy things. I remember. Ever wanted to fight crime? There's an app for that. We start our story of a little app that you may have heard of, and maybe you haven't, called Citizen on the App Store. It is on iOS and it's also on Android, and boasting over 7 million users across the country. It's no tiny app. We start our story with a man by the name of Andrew Frame. Here he is. Here's Andrew Frame, who desperately wants to be Elon Musk. Andrew Frame started a little company way back called Vigilante. In 2016, he launched an app called Vigilante, which, well, I could explain it, but I think the video can do some explaining for itself.
911, what's your emergency?
There's this man following me. I'm under the BK.
Okay, ma'am, please.
He's wearing a hoodie. He's hurt.
We're sending off there right now, ma'am. Ma'am.
75 Charlie, respond to a 1010 PD caller in the area of Cumberland and Park Avenue. Woman reports she's being pursued by a suspicious man in a black hoodie. She is under the BQE moving south towards Oxford.
Super psychedelic stuff for this.
What's your location?
75 Charlie, 1 exit away.
Now operating in New York City. You ever wanted to be Batman? Well, there's an app for that. He made an app specifically for you to report crimes, and then while crimes are happening, have live updates from people in your community. And so you can run in there and stop the crime before the cops get there or something. And that's why he called it Vigilante. He wanted you to be a superhero. And it didn't go too well. I'll tell you that much. You know, taking people from the App Store and telling them to go run into an active an active shooter situation to go get clout on your little app really does not sit well with Apple and Google, and so they removed his app Vigilante back in 2016 from the App Store. Gone, whoosh. But that wasn't going to stop Andrew Frame. Oh, and I like how you mentioned that is this a Black Mirror episode? He actually mentioned that in an interview. Andrew Frame said, sometimes new ideas come about and it's too much too soon. Everybody kind of said, whoa, is this real? Are we watching an episode of Black Mirror, or is this actually a product available in the App Store? He knows exactly what he's doing. So months later, he revamps everything. And he comes back to the App Store. He comes back to reality with a new app, with a new vision in mind, as he would like you to believe, named Citizen. Now, Citizen is different from Vigilante because Vigilante's express goal was to get you to run into active crime situations. No, Citizen's goal was to just keep you informed, to keep you safe. That's what they want you to believe. I downloaded Citizen on my phone, and I'll let you know, without giving away my location. I live in one of the safest cities in America. And that's not even hyperbole. Like I live in like, I believe like top 20 safest cities in all of the US. And my Citizen app blows up sometimes. Just out of nowhere. I just downloaded it to see like what this is going on. I know it probably steals my information. But you know, that's okay. I'm from the burbs, hell yeah, but I have respect to the streets and all that. Shark doxing himself, it's okay, you'll never find me. I will end you. What type of crime does it report? Like, who? Let me tell you, all right? let me tell you what type of crime Citizen reports. Now, Citizen, the way it works is that you get on there, you see a crime, you witness something, you see something, you hear something, you hear that someone else said something about something, and you can report it onto the app as an incident. And incidents in your area pop up on other people's phones and devices as notifications. Citizen says it only wants to target extremely important crimes and events that are happening to ensure that people stay safe and clear from the crime. So I would imagine that this reports on a whole bunch of really important crime and makes sure that it sifts through all of the useless nonsense that would clutter your page. Let's look at some stuff that Citizen users have seen reported on their app. Report of a man trapped in the Subaru dealership. Nearby incident, person threw avocado at parking enforcement officer. Now this is crazy, okay? This Citizen user, his app reported that there was a man holding a knife exactly where he was standing. And there is no man with a knife. Report of man armed with knife directly on him. That's him. That's literally him. They saw him, a man who is has an interesting skin tone, and they said, "Hey, this is the guy with a knife, like literally right here." Interesting that Citizen has had a bumpy road. I want to talk about it a little bit because they're experiencing a little bit of turmoil at the moment for some problems that have been going inside and outside of the company that are starting to raise some eyebrows from a lot of people who they don't really want peering into their happenings. So let me tell you a little something, okay? They are based in New York, but they operate a lot in Los Angeles. And a couple of weeks ago, people started seeing something extremely interesting. And what was that? Citizen, well, the crime app Citizen is driving a security car around LA and won't say why. We'll get back to this, but there are multiple reports of just a car with their logo on it. Security car, looks like a cop car, just kind of patrolling streets, rolling in and out of parking lots and warehouses, just kind of driving around doing its thing. I promise you we'll get back to that because it's actually really interesting. It's cracking me. Yeah, they're hiding. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to hide the little logo. They saw that they were looking, and so as they were turning, they were like backing the car forward and backwards so people couldn't see the whole logo. They have a crack team of specialists at Citizen, okay? A crack team. All right. So Citizen came out in 2017. It's been working. It's been doing its thing. In 2020, what happened is that they got a little bit of legitimacy. And when I say a little bit of legitimacy, I mean a lot of legitimacy. Like I said, this guy, Andrew Frame, wants to be like Elon Musk. He has massive visions. He's like an ideas guy. He's got a massive vision for what Citizen can and should be. And he's not going to waste any time in getting what he wants. So when he saw COVID come around, he's the type of guy who sees a tragedy and thinks of it as an opportunity. So he saw COVID going around, and what he did was he used Citizen. He made his people add a COVID tracing feature to Citizen, and it worked decently well. So well, in fact, that the Los Angeles County supervisor and the Los Angeles mayor, Eric Garcetti, and him and other high-ranking Los Angeles officials and California officials had a sit-down press conference in the LA City Hall today. Well, at the time of this writing, to announce a partnership with SafePass, the mobile app that provides contact tracing compatibilities for individuals through the Los Angeles County. They got so much legitimacy because not only were they had a system that helped contact trace when it comes to COVID, they were being boosted up by the literal mayor of Los Angeles. So that's a lot, right? So what are they going to do with it? Let me turn your attention to the wildfire incident. This is an article from Vice's Motherboard. It's titled, "Find This Fuck: Inside Citizen's Dangerous Effort to Cash In on vigilantism. Boy, are they trying to cash in. Buckle up, boys. Andrew Frame was excited. The CEO of a crime and neighborhood watch app, Citizen, was on Slack whipping himself and his employees. Hey, this is the sort of kink that we don't want to listen, not in public, okay? Into what he'd later call an all-hands meeting, fury of passion, about a wildfire. Citizen had gotten a tip that a wildfire was started by an arsonist. Frame had decided earlier in the night that the fire was a huge opportunity. The live streaming service that he just launched on Citizen, called On Air, would be the perfect time to launch it now to help them catch this arsonist. Not a call, but yeah, definitely not a call, by the way. Not a call. So like I said, he wants Citizen to be many, many different things. He throws it in so many crazy directions that they've now started a live streaming service. They have, so him and other like literal news anchors in Los Angeles are there live streaming to, you know, we'll get to it, many people about this wildfire and to catch this arsonist. Frame decided that the Citizen user who provided information that led to the suspect's arrest would get $10,000. Not only $10,000 from the company's money, $10,000 of his personal money. He said, this is going to be such an opportunity for my app and this company that I'm going to put down $10,000 to make sure that someone who uses the app, who catches this guy, is going to get that money out of my pocket. They obtained a photo of the man, which they kept on the live stream for large portions of the night. And this is big, okay? This is very big. Frame says, first name, what is it? Publish all info that they have about this guy. Find this fuck, he told them. Let's get this guy before midnight. He's going down. Breaking news, this guy's the devil. Get him, Frame said. By midnight, we hate this guy. Get him. He was growing impatient. He increased the bounty to $20,000. And then that wasn't enough. It was still going on. The chase was still going on for this guy. He increased it to $30,000 out of his own personal money. $30,000 to catch this guy. And like I said, Citizen is no small app. It is pretty prolific in Los Angeles. They had about 800,000 people who were using the Citizen app in just Los Angeles get the push notifications that he was putting out about the arsonist. They were getting his picture, they were getting his name, they were getting like the last time they saw him, everything, all of the almost 1 million people that they had within the area of Los Angeles. They were sending out this man's picture of all of the time. And some people in the back room, while this was all going on, one staffer brought up a loophole. Citizen was violating its own terms of service that prohibited posting of specific information that could identify parties for which was an incident. Once again, this is what these are, incidents. That's what they call them. The staffer was ignored. He didn't care at all. The more we encourage, the more courage we have, the more signups we will get. Go after bad guys. Signups will skyrocket, period. We should catch a new bad guy every single day. So he personally had an investment into this. He thinks that his app should be personally involved in now crime fighting, sending his users to be little vigilantes. Remember the original name of the app, to go catch bad guys that he was going to report on to get money from. Frame said at one point in time, Frame said the metrics were great, and they were. At one point, 40,000 people were watching the live stream, and 1.4 million people engaged with the content of this guy's face and name. It wasn't the right guy. It wasn't the right guy. They got some random tip from some random sergeant and also user-generated data to find out, to infer which guy was the right one. And he threw it all in. And not only was this just a normal dude, it was a homeless man. And if you know anything about homeless people, in the relation to inner cities, homeless people get blamed a lot for problems that happen in inner cities. Arson is one, burning things down, fires. Homeless people get blamed extremely heavily for these things. This is actually a homeless person that has been blamed before for arson and has had his tent vandalized. The only thing that he has to his name. And so he this man put out a $30,000 bounty on his head so someone could catch him when he had nothing to do with it. The police, after finding out that this is the guy that they're looking for, found him. They questioned him, didn't hold him for more than 2 hours before letting him go because there was zero information that this guy had anything to do with the fire that happened, and that the very next day they caught the right guy. And this is the arson story. Oh, but there's more. Oh, there's always more. But we'll pick up on that in just a moment. Let's talk about Citizen as it is at the moment, okay? One of the big problems with Citizen is that they do not verify. So how does Citizen work, really? Citizen works by, there are freelance people that people in Citizen headquarters listen into. Those people find and publish police radio, and so they can listen in on what police are doing. Those people in Citizen, what they do is they synthesize that data into little incidents, little blurts that get to be push notifications on your phone. But that's not all. Also, users can implement push notifications themselves. So that's how you get Avocado Man, you get incidents about lost dogs. But what's really insidious is that you get lots of notifications about things that may not have ever even happened because they don't verify. So you could be getting push notification after notification after notification about gunshots when it was someone's car backfiring, shots fired somewhere when it didn't actually happen. They report that the police are saying that shots have been fired when someone was just hammering wood, or fireworks were going off, a lost dog, all of these sorts of things you get push notifications for 24/7. So Citizen doesn't seem very good at, telling you too much about crime. And actually they weren't even that good at keeping people's COVID data safe. Remember how I said that they got boosted by the city of Los Angeles to track your data? Well, that got leaked. They leaked it. Crime App Citizen exposes users' COVID data. So that didn't go too well for them either. Things really seem to be sliding downhill for Citizen, I'll tell you that much. Also, it was reported one of the really big reasons why he may have had so much of an incentive to get the guy who may have done the arson is because he may have a personal stake in that fire. Frame may have had a personal stake in the fire. Property records indicate that he's the current owner of a Bel Air mansion within 10 miles of the blaze, with little development between. There's lots of bush, dry bush, between him and the fire, his mansion and the fire. And he wants to really make sure we caught that guy, but it's just for the good of everyone, okay? Had nothing to do with him. Spokesperson came out that said it had nothing to do with him. I think I'm legally obligated to say that. Something along those lines, I don't know, I just think it's really funny. Oh, what next? He's gonna put out a fucking push notification to be like, help me find the guy who fucked my wife. Someone stole my Amazon package. Push notification to every single person. $10,000 bounty on their head. He's become like a freaking Cowboy Bebop bounty hunter. Like one of the people who puts out the bounties. That's him now, and he's at the top of the food chain, and there's nothing that you could really do about it. There are many employees. There's high turnover within the Citizen organization. Lots of employees came out to said this should make everyone afraid because it could be anyone. Referring to the guy referring to that homeless man who had been accused of setting that fire. The former employee said, "There's no oversight. It's not unusual for tech startups to cycle through business ideas and focus on growth as they figure out what they want to be, because Citizen is focused on public safety, the stakes behind each idea are much higher, because they're not just messing around with little microtransactions in their app. They're now messing around with people's lives. They are massive safety concerns with not only the people using the app, but the people who did not choose to use the app, who signed none of the agreements, who get filmed, who get put on Citizen's app. And all of those videos that are taken right through Citizen, it's kept by them forever. I want to show you guys what happened with this, and some of the people who use Citizen and some of the people who were helping boost Citizen when it came to this manhunt.
Brentwood resident Michelle Katz saw it. She forwarded it to her Facebook group.
People post about all sorts of things on Facebook or Nextdoor, whether they lose a dog or a cat, and it seems to work. So why not find someone who's trying to destroy the neighborhood?
Michelle Katz feels bad about this case, but
It is sad, for sure. But look at that Getty fire that was started by a homeless encampment. So the homeless are definitely an issue.
There it is. And that's how people are using the app. The app has been called by social scientists a highway for discrimination. Basically, what can happen is that you have these communities, you make these massive push notifications about what they could or can't be doing. You have the company itself that doesn't give a shit about their own policy about posting pictures of people like this and putting out personal information. Obviously, it's going to lead to people in reinforcing their biases through Citizen's app, and this happens a lot. They actually deal with a lot of racism on this app. Really interesting. Here's one person from inside the Citizen app. They said, I need to share this after a great display of solidarity in Chinatown just the other day. I see comments like this often on the Citizen app and here in Chicago. This kind of hateful festering ends off in showing itself in a lot of different ways. Rumor has it Stop and Frisk is coming back to a city near you. ALM, fuck this shit. With the BLM. If BLM actually mattered, then they would announce stop and frisk policy going back into effect. No one would say shit. Time to take back Chicago from thugs and murderers. They don't have values or value life. It's kind of memeing. It's actually become so bad that people have actually started making memes about it. Here's the subreddit for the Queens, like the borough in New York. Literally any Citizen app notification in the Middle Village, Glendale area. Comment section, homeless shelter. They're just using it to shit on homeless people. We'll get back to that in a second. It actually can be a lot. Remember how I talked about these patrol cars that are prowling the streets in Los Angeles and some other cities? Crime and Neighborhood Watch app has ambitions to deploy private security workers to the scene of disturbances at the request of app users, according to leaked internal Citizen documents, Citizen sources. The introduction of an in-person private security force drastically alters the service that and the potential impact that Citizen may offer in the future, and provide more context to why a Citizen branded vehicle has been spotted around the Los Angeles area. So it has the Citizen logo on it, but it has another logo on it as well, which is Los Angeles Professional Services, a private security force that's basically a private police force for people who really hate homeless people. Basically, that's just what they do. They arrest homeless people. We'll get back to that in a moment. Let's talk about something a little bit more inside of Citizen, okay? Because they're quite the interesting group. Users are flooded with notifications that what multiple sources interpret to try to make users feel anxious enough about their neighborhoods to buy Protect, a $19.99 subscription service that allows users to live stream their phone's camera and location to Citizen's Protect agent, who monitors it and sends instant emergency response in case of an emergency. So they want to make you scared enough about crime and your own physical well-being that they want you to buy their subscription virtual bodyguard service, but not alert the actual police. Because that makes a lot of sense, right? The whole idea behind Protect is that you could convince people to pay for a protection once you've gotten them to the highest point of anxiety you could possibly get them to. And this is why they allow people to make such flagrantly wrong incidents reports on their app, because if you feel unsafe, well, they have the remedy for it. And this is Frame talking. Our vision is a global safety network of people protecting each other, a world in which kidnapping is impossible because everyone is looking out for each other. The neighbors are alerted as soon as a kidnapping attempt is made. Advanced Mafia tactics. It is. This is Mafia, the app. It is. Critics are worried about the app's users who racially profile black people as suspicious, and happened on other safety-focused apps. This happens where they just see someone walking down the street and they're like, that guy's a little suspicious man walking down the street. Hey, listen, if you can make an incident report about raccoons walking down the street, I'm pretty sure there's lots of people who make many instances about just black people walking down the street. And now they put it in a very condensed, easy way for you to find all of it. The thing is, this has been done before with like Facebook groups. My parents are in the Facebook groups with the with some of our neighbors. They can talk to us, but this isn't like just a neighborhood. This is now it's hyper local, not just your neighborhood. It's now the entire city that you can see around you, and it doesn't just report on things that are happening or directly around you. These things can be happening all from completely across the city. One former Citizen employee told Motherboard that a portion of the app's user base is insanely racist, which comes out in comment sections that are especially vile, even for standards of internet comment sections. Citizen does moderate comments, but two people in an argument about whether or not someone's comment is racist drives engagement. So they can use it to their advantage. Citizen was hacked. Okay, they got big hacked, where a lot of their information that they had got leaked. Not only former employees coming out to talk about it, but also people who hacked it had things to say about it. So the hacker dropped a bunch of shit from inside of Citizen, and what they said was they made this little cow. Look, a little cow or horse, donkey. I think it's a cow because it has like the little udders. I think, or that's a dick. I'm not sure. Fuck snitches, fuck Citizen, fuck Andrew Frame, and remember kids, cops are not your friends. Much of the information would ordinarily be available to users as part of the normal functioning Citizen app, but the hacker scraping it en masse, releasing a series of files to download, the data quantitatively different from what the Citizen app offers. It's very different. They have a lot more information that they didn't give to the public. They want to make sure that you can be as scared as possible. So how, you just ask, how are employees of Citizen, how are they measured? So here's how they're measured, which is extremely interesting. They're measured by how many incidents that they report. Remember how I told you that what they do in the office is they write down things that have happened. They interpret police reportings. They report on user information, and they make little incidents out of it. You can be fired, you can be promoted, you can be reprimanded, all based on how many incidents that you make. And they want you to make as many as possible. So lots of people have said, hey, listen, this has come to the point where it's starting to not really be super reliable on what they do, because when the going gets tough, when the crunch happens, and you need to make sure that you meet your quota, well, many former employees said that what they do is they open up to anything that's happening, because it's going to drive engagement. I need to make sure I get my bucks tonight. All right, so we're going to make sure it happens to make people even more afraid. One former employee called it's basically an anxiety sweatshop. An anxiety sweatshop is what he's running in his business. That's not really a rousing endorsement of what you're doing in your building, huh? I think so personally. And it gets even worse. So as Citizen grew, it decided to outsource, and it outsourced a lot of its work that it did to Cloud Factory. Now, Cloud Factory is not in America. I'm pretty sure it's like in India or Bangladesh or something. They're not in America. Yeah, they're based in Kenya and Nepal. And so they don't even understand the streets, the context in which the police reports are coming in. Sometimes things can be lost in translation. Sometimes they hype things up that don't need to be hyped up. And that's what we are now. Citizen hires central analysts to listen to police scanners and then enter information into Citizen so users can receive a notification about them to inform them. Now those jobs are being filled by Cloud Factory. Paid private response under the section titled money, just dollar signs is what it was called. That section mentions insurance perks, an open hardware platform, and send first responders to go in. All right, so let's talk about something. Okay, you saw these little cars, little car here. All right, so this car is not owned by Citizen. They just work with the company that owns them. The company that owns them, now that is way different. Let's talk about that for a second. The company that owns them is called Los Angeles Professional Services. They're a private police force that goes around for their clients and gives them private protection or something. Hey, they even made like a little video about them. And you want to talk about dystopia? Let's get a little bit more dystopia. Oh, jeez.
Call earlier that one of the neighboring apartment complexes saw someone enter one of our facilities.
And here he is, James Caspari, the founder, who plays dress up as a cop for his clients and goes around and tries to pretend to do police services and makes citizens arrests on behalf of his clients, most of which are homeless people. It's great. It's just great. They roll around in these little squad cars, patrol cars, and I gotta tell you, this shit is fucking cringe.
The last time we were here, we placed a shovel along an exterior door in a very specific fashion. And we've conducted a routine patrol, and as we can see, there is no shovel on the door, which means somebody came in. Somebody put something in place on the other side, there's like a zip tie on the interior of the door.
Oh my gosh. It's incredible detective work, my man.
What we cannot have is folks living inside, sleeping inside, people doing drugs inside. Dispatch, please call LAPD. Let them know we have confirmed subject in the rear.
This is the LAPS. We know that you are inside. Step out now with your hands in the air.
So yeah, and here they are blocking the street and thinking that they're cops. They come rolling around in like cop-looking cars, and they have almost the same exact acronym as the LAPD, but with one letter changed. There's S instead of D. So they want to think that they're cops right now, right? Come on now. We have you surrounded. Step out. A bit of typo in their acronym. That's really funny. This is LARP. Yeah, it should be LARP.
What do we do?
You can't be here. You gotta go. Ma'am, you gotta go.
No, I don't want to go to jail, motherfucker. You say it. If you hit that patrol car, you're gonna get tased. Drop that. Drop your mic.
We are not your run-of-the-mill.
You're going to get tased. So yeah, like I said, he thinks he thinks that he's a cop. He thinks someone hitting his car means that he can now tase him. They have tasers? They do. There's a point in here where he goes over all of his gear. I think here, let me see.
We've got equipment that is better than most agencies you'll see out there.
As you can see, we wear vests, just like other law enforcement agencies. On the vest, I have a taser.
Did you hear that? Like other law enforcement agencies. Bitch, you're not a law enforcement agency. You're a private police force. You're like fucking Mayweather. I'm watching it. I'm watching a promotional ad from a website in GTA 5 right now.
We have a body cam.
All of our officers, of course, wear body cameras. No matter where I am in the world, all I have to do is take out my phone and I can see exactly what my officers are up to.
And then he just has a baby monitor on all of them, just stalking them a little bit. And then let me tell you about this, okay? And then they break into this building.
LAPS, if you're in here, make your presence known. Team Boy. LAPS, if you're in here, make your presence known.
Dude, I wouldn't say anything to them too. Hey, it's me, it's us Laps, make your presence known. And they come breaking in and come like checking corners and stuff like they're in Afghanistan, dude. Who do you think you are? These people, they're just they're big boys playing dress up. I want you to hear this as he's holding two people at gunpoint, okay? Listen to this.
Hey, get on the ground.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground now. Get on the ground. Who? Okay, step outside.
Step outside.
Step outside. I got him. Lie down.
Lie down.
Lie down.
So he gave this guy 3 commands, 3 contradictory commands. Stand up, sit down, lay down, step outside. This is why you don't allow people like this to do police work. They're not police. They're not trained to be police. Yeah, roll over.
All right, is there a fire going on in here? I smell smoke.
Okay. And there it is. He thinks the homeless people are doing fires, and these people are probably scared out of their mind. Some people who are not police, you should be scared if police come here and do shit like this. But now these aren't even police. These are just random people.
Okay, we're just gonna sit you up so you're comfortable, okay? Where there's a domestic violence situation, there is something that needs the police assistance, and they don't have time to deal with a guy pushing 2 shopping carts down the road.
And he explains his philosophy right there. No one should have time for a guy pushing 2 shopping carts down the road. What they want to do is they want to work with the police to start enforcing like low-level crime. And when I talk about low-level crime, he said it there. Pushing 2 Walmart shopping carts down the street, tearing down a homeless encampment, jaywalking. That's what he wants to do.
This right here is a city golf course. To our right, Penmar Golf Course. Everyone over here subscribes to our residential service.
You know what this looks like? This looks like one of those you know those memes that are like socialist citizens, socialist leaders, you know? This is what it looks like. It's just like $1 million homes on one side of the street and then homeless encampment on the other side of the street. Here, he's gonna show him harassing homeless people now.
Threats of violence. These folks get very aggressive, so just be mindful of that. Hello, sir.
Fucking talking to you?
How are you doing today?
Man, don't talk to that fucking idiot, man.
What's your business here?
None of your fucking business. That part.
Oh, none of my fucking business.
Yeah, none of your fucking business. Did you see? Look at him. He's walking up like he's a cop or something. What's the point of talking to these people? Holy shit, just glorified hall monitor. Here's the real scariest part in this video.
Private security has 0 authority on a public space.
He thinks private security has 0 authority on a public space, so he wants to get that space. So his company is now petitioning the Los Angeles City Council so they can be basically deputized to start doing actual police work. They want to become the police.
Why can't we take them to jail, give them our body camera footage, give them a copy of the report? Why can't we do that?
Imagine cops, but there's even less accountability for the people, even less. Imagine that. So remember when I said that they have a little streaming service called On Air? They did a production. They had 2 hosts throughout the night, including the big boss, Andrew, who came in to talk about everything and to hype people up about the bounty that he put on a homeless guy's head. Now, outward facing, they said that it was a massive mistake and we're so sorry. But on the inside, it seems like there's a very different story about what was happening. So this is them during the wildfire, while they were accusing a homeless man of starting the fire and setting out a manhunt of almost 1 million people to go find him. When have you seen 860,000 people committed to finding one person? We have mobilized a city to bring a person to justice, he said. Look for, and then he said the person's name. Look for him. Family members of, said the person's name again. He wasn't brought up into this world by himself. We need your help. We need you to help us contact him and identify where he is. We need the scent of his clothes. We need this man off the street so we can stop burning the city of Los Angeles. Publicly, citizens said that it was very sorry for the wildfire incident and for putting a bounty on the head of an innocent man. The company called the entire incident a mistake. Andrew Frame had looked at it differently. Well, Frame showed some contrition. He said the bounty experiment was a massive net win, a step on the way for his app to become a private safety network that is going into what the government is failing to do. There is no consequences for taking a risk. Safe environment, he said. Later, in a all hands the Wednesday after the incident, Frame admitted that the company got a lot of things wrong on Saturday, according to the official notes posted on Slack obtained by Motherboard. But even though it feels really bad on the outside, it's not nearly as bad as it may feel. One of our investors wants to assuage everyone's concerns. The investors have never been more excited. A corpo police force with 70 terabytes worth of people's personal information, many of which who were on the website did not condone to be on the website at all, are being held. They're trying to move into the real world. They're trying to set up police cars. They're trying to set up a rapid response unit that sends over a fake cop to come over and then harass the people that you want. Now imagine, all right, 2077, we're in the future. Rich person sipping tea while watching the fucking private police force that they hired come down and tear down some like homeless encampment that's blocking the view of the very little grass that we have left on planet Earth. Isn't that amazing? Live streaming shelter raids, full auto. Yeah, just in the future, no Russianing homeless camps. That's where we are right now. And that is the story of Citizen, the vigilante app that wants to turn your neighbor into Batman and wants to add a private police force to follow you wherever you go to make sure no homeless or black person will harass you at any point in time. Well, let's see how it goes. This app seems to be literally a single lawsuit away from liquidation, which is hilarious, and hopefully it happens soon because they should not be allowed to prowl the streets in the way that they are. That is disgusting.